The following is an Operation Podcast production.
In Arizona Boys Ranch, that was the first time I met white kids that had black and brown problems. A lot of my peers got heavy into drugs and alcohol. That's how they lived. And, you know, some of them did die. A lot of them died.
I mean,
Yes.
You were in which gang were you in?
West Coast Crip.
West Coast Crip. So, I mean, which a lot of people say you can't even really, I mean, tell me if I'm wrong here because I'm not
You're
sure,
wrong.
but like.
It's not like that.
Are you ready for a wild ride? I'm Alexis Artin, and I invite you to strap in because this is more than a podcast. This is Look at Me Now.
Hello. Welcome back, y'all, to another episode of Look at Me Now. And usually I get on here and I'm like, wee! And that's, I sort of kick off with like a very excited energy. And it's not that I'm not excited, but there's a somberness to me today because you and I have already been talking, my guest here and I have already been talking.
Yes.
And today is just going to be so deeply powerful that the beginnings of our conversation so far have already really grounded me into what a survivor you are and how epic I know this conversation will be in service of everybody that is listening. I am sitting here with Cleo Young, and you know, normally I would sit here and say, oh, it's the author of this, or, oh, you know, this person does this for a living or whatever. And instead I'm going to sit here and go like, you are the most riveting survivor, scholar of life. Like, this is the type of introduction I really love to give because you are somebody that in your depth of experience and growth and learning just through being human is astounding. So I don't want to butcher my introduction of you by saying anything else. I really just want to invite you into the conversation. Hi, Cleo. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. I got an idea.
Yeah.
One time I was talking to a psychologist. I was in a SHU program, the whole in prison in New Folsom. And she was asking me, what do I do to cope and get by? So I asked her, I was like, well, when you hear the term, you know, gangster or gang member, what do you think? And she said, a rap artist. And I was like, okay. And she was like, well, do I have it right? I said, I don't know if you have it right, but let me tell you what I think of it. She said, okay. And that's what I told her. I have a family outside of my family. They call us gangsters, and it was on from the jump. Craving love and attention that I didn't receive at home. Yeah, drug addict parents, I forgive them. I just got to do my own. You see, hunger made us close to most, and so did poverty. The same blocks you roam, I sing my songs. Side by side, the death of our camaraderie. I love you like you love me. I trust you like you trust me. Hey, down at the park, I know there's at least 5 others that feel like we. And as dangerous as it is out here in numbers, there's safety. Make me or break me, all I know is survival. Blame me and hate me, but ain't nothing new to my kind folk. I can't blindfold. I ain't even 13 and got the world on my shoulders. Let me unload. See, I was raised by the hyenas, but I wanted to be a lion. I see the vultures circling. Had they been listening to my Jungle Book dying, my Jungle Book crying? The streets are my jungle and they on fire. Hot to death and I'm part of that there. I'm taking respect and thriving off fear, and so is my peers. But it's not chaotic every day. I also search for peace, life, love, freedom, and the pursuit of happiness. You know, the American dreams. I look at the gangsters of yesterday, today, and tomorrow, and I know it's not the same. What's lacking is the passion, the thrive for elevation, dedication, and the sense to teach the next generation that it's okay to seek change. A lot outside of this gangster culture don't understand because fear will keep them at bay. And a lot inside this gangster culture don't understand that the world is bigger than just your gang. Gangster to gangster. So she was crying.
I'm tearing up over here. I'm like, okay, I'm supposed to be podcasting, but I'm crying.
And she was like, wow, I never knew it like that. I never heard it like that. So
I'm at a loss for words, and I have a microphone in my face, so I'm not really sure where we go from here. That is exquisite. When did you write this?
I wrote this in 2008.
What were your circumstances at the time that you wrote it?
I just received a 10-year sentence for selling drugs. I got caught with a knife, and that's how I ended up in the shoe. When you're living in them circumstances, you know, it's all about survival. So you got to arm yourself with what the system wants you to believe your enemies are arming themselves with. So that's what I did. And that's where I was at. It was a wake-up call for me, though, because when I went to the SHU, segregated housing unit, you're in there with nothing to do. You only get books at certain times. So the books that I had, I read. And I didn't have nothing to do. Worked out, push-ups, like everything to, you know, to make time go by. And that's where I feel like I've mastered time. No matter what, there's 24 hours in the day. You just got to fill them in. And if you could fill them in, you won't worry about the time. It'll go by. So in the process of learning that, I wrote a lot and everything. But when it got to the point to where writer's block, no book to read, can't do any more push-ups or squats or lunges or burpees or any of that, I don't know where I read it at, but I was like, I'm gonna forgive myself for everything I've ever done bad in life. So I laid down on my bunk and I went back to my earliest memory. And everything that I could remember, I forgave myself for. That shit hurt. Ooh, that hurt. I went back and forgave my parents, forgave my aunts and uncles, and all the bad shit that I seen around me and the different people that I feel that have at some point in time hurt me or did me wrong. And I went back and I forgave them. And this was a 2 to 3 day process. And it hurt. I cried. I broke myself down and built myself back up. And being in the SHU, I was able to do that. So from that point forward, I was like, I'm gonna be a better me. Of course, I got out of prison, got back into everything I knew, and went back to prison.
Tell me why. Why did you go back to what you knew after this massive wave of forgiveness and rebuilding yourself and acknowledgement? I feel like I know the answer, but I'm curious to hear it from you. Why did you go back?
A lot of times when you're in these structured environments, you don't plan for what's to come. You plan, but what's to come is when it's not in your plan, you go back to what you know what works. Mm-hmm. So when I came home, you know, I immediately got back to my family and my kids and, you know, parent-teacher meetings, had a job. It was like, okay, now I need a place to stay. You know, I was staying with some family members. And I know, you know, you only got a certain amount of time to be here before people are going to expect you to contribute. Me being who I am, I felt it from immediately, like I need to start contributing. the jobs that I was applying for, I was trying to apply for construction jobs, labor. I did interior renovation. And before that, that was like the major job that I had, interior renovation, then telemarketing, and then drug selling. So the construction jobs that I was applying for wasn't calling me back. I got kids. They got needs. So it was like, I'm trying to trust the process, but pride. Pride was the number one thing that got me going back, because it was like, I'm the man of the house. I'm supposed to provide for my family. How can I not do that? So all the rebuilding, it was like, okay, how can I do this in a good way? How can I hustle in a good way? Okay. No more robberies and burglaries. There's addicts out here. Supply and demand. There's a demand for this, I'm gonna supply the demand. I'm not forcing nothing on you. You want it, you come to me, I got it. That's how I justified it. That shit didn't matter to the judge.
Right. Correct.
Didn't matter at all. So, you know, they call it tiptoeing. Tiptoeing in the game is when you're not full-fledged with it. You're just doing a little bit. Okay, I could hustle up a couple $1,000s and pay the bills. I'm not doing this every day. I'm doing it, get these bills out the way. Hopefully this job will call me back. Okay, I got this job. Okay, this job will handle that bill. This job will handle that bill. Okay, now I need to get a car to get back and forth. Damn, what am I gonna do? Okay, hustle up a couple of more $1,000s, get a car now. So now it's like you go from tiptoeing in the game to knee deep in the game. Now you're full-fledged out here hustling.
Yeah. Can you walk us back, like way back, and just give us how it all started to continue to perpetuate and lead you deeper and deeper and deeper into this lifestyle? Like, tell us about like your upbringing, and tell us about, you know, the circumstances, that external pressure that you experienced that ended up leading you into a particular lifestyle that you didn't feel necessarily you had a choice around.
So elementary school. We stayed out in Tucson, Arizona, and it was my mom, my brother, and my sister. So me and my little brother and my little sister, we used to watch the Ninja Turtles. We was big on Ninja Turtles. And our electricity was getting cut off and on. Moms couldn't pay the bills. So it was on at this time, and it was like, I think some lady had moved and left some DVD players, cassettes, to my mom. Well, we didn't have a DVD player. So I broke into my elementary school and I stole that one. Well, the kid I was with, he ended up telling on me. I ended up going to Arizona Boys Ranch. So I went to 4 different boys' homes, 24-hour schools. And in a way, they saved me. A big way they saved me. In Arizona Boys Ranch, that was the first time I met white kids that had black and brown problems. That didn't exist in my hood, where I grew up at in San Diego. There was no poor white kids where we lived at. It was blacks and Mexicans. That's it. And we were poor. And everybody outside of that, from TV to what our parents was telling us, had it better than us. So going to Arizona Boys Ranch and being there, that was the first time I met kids, white kids, that had the same problems as me, that cried the same tears as me, that felt lonely like me. And that right there, growing up hearing, you know, white people are your enemy, social workers, police, judges. These were the people that affected the lives of people in my community. So that's all I saw. Going there to Arizona Boys Ranch, I seen something different. So that opened my eyes, and that stopped me from taking what my parents and my aunts and uncles were saying is truth. There's kids that feel just like me.
That don't look like me.
That don't look like me. And I was just blessed to take that into account and apply it to where it's like, okay, white people are not my enemy because they have problems like me. You can't be my enemy if you have problems like me. And Arizona Boys Ranch was big on team building. So now we're playing sports. I'm in elementary, you know, I'm 11 years old, 10 years old, 10, 11 years old. And I'm like, okay, white kids, Mexican kids, Indian kids, Native kids, whatever. We all work together. We got to work as a team. So team building, that helped with that. I learned manners there. I was in the 4-H program there. I ran track there, swim team there. These are the things that you don't get at home or in the hood. I wouldn't have got that based on the upbringing that my mom at the time could afford to provide me. So I was able to do that. Come home. In those, I want to say this, in those structures and environments, I thrived. I did good in school. I read. I had a lot of friends. I was likable. And I learned. I wanted to learn. I was happy learning. When you come home from that, you got adult problems. I'm trying to figure out how me and my brothers and sisters not gonna go to school with dirty clothes. How can I keep this dude my mom talking to from abusing her? Now I'm back in survival mode. So the structured environment is different. Now I'm back to this tribal environment of survival. It's perpetuating itself. The system is repeating itself. Go to school, self-conscious about my clothes, self-conscious about my shoes, self-conscious about the holes in my socks. So now I don't feel like being here. But if I'm not here, social workers, school counselors, they want to know what's going on. Now I'm getting my ass beat at home because I got these people coming by asking questions and my mom's trying to get high. So then I started running away. If I could spend the night at your house, cool. I might not be able to spend the night, but I could stay for dinner. Cool. I gotta go back and deal with this. Or even if I can spend the night, I gotta go back because I got a little brother that's probably gonna get the ass whooping I would get. My little sister. Or my mom might not be there. So who's looking out for my little brother and my little sister? I gotta go back here. And regardless if I'm gonna get yelled at, cussed out, whatever it may be, I'm here. We're gonna play Ninja Turtles. You can't watch it on TV. So it was just a lot of that. That perpetuated the system. That perpetuated my actions and was a segue to back to the street life, back to hustling, back to, surviving. So even knowing right from wrong, like I've been asked that a lot. Cleo, you're smart. You have the means, you know how to present yourself. You know how to talk. You look people in your eyes when you talk to them and this and that. And that's the motivation, like, yeah, I can do this, I can do this. But you come home from that structured environment and you apply to all the Burger Kings, McDonald's, and Jack in the Boxes in your area, and they're not calling you back, and you're following up, and you're coming by. Like, I went and stole this shirt for this interview, and you mean to tell me I'm not getting the interview today? So it's just the point to where it's like, you feel like, what's the use of trying it this way? This shit ain't working. I know what works. I got friends that got cars and money and having it their way. I know what works. I know what's working. I can see what's working because I'm trying this and this is not working. And you know, as a kid, a teenager coming up, you don't have patience. Life teaches you patience as you get older. There's people in their 40s and 50s don't have patience.
Mm-hmm. Damn straight.
15, 16, 17, I don't got patience. I need it now. I want to have fun now. I want to live now. And then in the 90s, it was wild. Gangbanging was crazy. And it was like, I want to live now because I might not be here tomorrow. Why am I waiting until they call me next week? I'm hungry right now. Mm-hmm. My problems at home, my bills at home is now. It's not 2 weeks from now. I don't have food to last me 2 weeks from now. So this was the struggle, you know? This was the
nature of survival.
Exactly. So that's what that was. That's how that came about. Now I'm an adult. And there was a time it was good. So I was in group home, and my aunt, rest in peace, Lolita Mayer, she came to visit me, and I told her, I was like, Auntie, man, I want you to get custody of me. They're going to send me to a foster home, and don't know if foster homes want me. She was like, you going to go to school? I said, yeah. She said, when I tell you to bring your ass home, you going to bring your ass home? Yep. She said, okay. And that's what happened. So in the process, I was able to come on home passes to my uncle's house, my uncle and my auntie, Demery Graves and Linda Graves, you know. So this was a family members that they had their stuff together. So it was when they come and do a home visit check, they're like, oh yeah, nice house. Yeah, you could come here to home pass. So it was like, you know, and they would give me good advice and guidance and everything, but I wasn't coming home to live with them. So I came home, was staying with my aunt Lee T, and I graduated high school. I got to walk with my class and everything. And it was like, now I felt like I could do anything. Mm. And they wanted me to go to the military, go to the Navy, go to the Navy, go to the Navy. That wasn't the cool thing, you know? I didn't. I got back into what I knew, the streets, the gangs. That's when it was really just gangs, really. I was caught up in wanting to hang out with my friends. We were struggling together like, oh yeah, I remember this time, remember that we slept in this empty apartment and we had to do this and that, and we don't got to do that no more. Everybody's having a little bit of money. It's like now, it's like 17, let's live, let's party, let's have fun. So, wanting to do that.
Yeah.
Got caught up. Robbery, high-speed chase, 18 years old, me and my cousin. So, first time going to prison. First time I go to prison, adults don't have arguments like teenage boys do. Like teenage boys, juvenile hall, you go there, you're going to fight. Just go in there and fight somebody. Mm-hmm. I mean, you'll be friends with them in a couple of days. So when I first went to prison, adults don't do that. And I was thinking like, oh, this is easy. I don't even got to fight nobody just to, you know, prove that I'm tough. You know, it's a lot of people that grew up where I grew up, my homies, my friends, older cousins, uncles. It was almost like a family reunion, you know? Mm. And they telling you, hey, don't do this, don't do that. You could do everything else. Okay. got back into reading. You know, I'm in a structured environment, and it's like, okay, what am I gonna do here? What am I gonna do? I need to do something. I wanna come out with a skill, a trade. So the problem with that is they told me I didn't have enough time to get a trade. You had to have 5 or more years. Well, I only have 4 years. First offense as an adult, only have 4 years. I couldn't get a trade. So I was like, okay, I'll get a job. I worked in a bakery because I heard you could learn how to bake in here, get out. Pretty likely you could get a job. Don't nobody got to see you. They don't care if you got a felony, so on and so forth. Okay, I'm gonna do that. Nah. Well, we're not hiring. Oh, we don't need a baker right now. Well, can you do this? Can you do that? I could bake bread. I know how to work the ovens. You know, I know about this. I know how to mix, you know, on a big level. Oh, no, we're not hiring. Okay. Let me try these other jobs. We're not hiring. So it was like, okay. My mom, she was like, you trying to buy a car, ain't you? I'm like, yeah. She was like, come with me to smuggle these illegal aliens. I'll make sure you get you some money so you could get you a car. You sure? Yeah. Mind you, she used to do this when I was little, and I was her co-pilot. She didn't know how to switch lanes. So I was sitting in the passenger seat. Baby, can I switch lanes right now? Yeah, Mom, switch lanes. And we would bring her from San Diego to LA. That was her run. So I knew she knew about it. So when she told me that, I was like, all right, cool, it's a quick couple $1,000s. Give me a car. Now I could go to these other places and apply for jobs that are not local where the bus and the trolley is. Got caught. That became a revolving door. Started having kids. And I was like, come home, I need to get a job. Family friend, Dave, Bulldog from East Dago Mob. He got me a telemarketing job with him. And he had just came home from the feds. And when I tell you, he knew how to sell. Plain and simple. He knew how to sell. And telemarketing at the time was, they hired everybody. So this was good. This would get probation off my back. Got a job, some money coming in. A friend works here, helped me out. I could learn the ropes. Once I learn it, I'll be good. Well, no. This is a different expense. You know? So I would work and I would cash my check. And as soon as I got my check, I knew it was like, I got like maybe $20 for me. Okay. How we gonna make this work? So I sit down with the mother of my children. I was like, I'm ready to jump over a counter. She's like, no, baby, don't do that. I'll get a job. You sure? Yes. Cool. And everything was going good. Everything was going good. From that, I transitioned into interior renovation. The condos that we stayed in, neighbor, Bill Puttram. I met him. He's renovating the condo next to ours. There's a row of them. Long story short, with Bill offered me a job. He wanted to go home one day, so we're out there talking. And he was like, man, I really need to get home, but I gotta paint the garage. So I tell him, man, I'll paint it for you. He was like, all right, I'll pay you. That turned into me learning interior renovation. Bill William Puttram. He's somewhere up there in Idaho. Driving, I'm gonna run into him again. But I definitely wanna thank him because he gave me a set of skills that I didn't have. And that was a job, that was the first job that I had that I loved. I have fun, baseboard, drywall, I got to be physical. I was learning and it was fun. So, situation happened, a family member of mine, he had just came home from jail. I'm doing good job. Mother of my kids has a job. Kids are good. Everything's going smooth. I thought I had the path. I seen it. The owner of the company who was buying these buildings that we were renovating, his name was Rob. I can't remember his last name, Rob. Rob was like, hey, look, man, Bill's gonna move. I want you to take over the crew. Rent out lease with the option to buy. You'll be able to own this in a couple of years. Just stay working for me. We're gonna buy and flip condos for the next 5 years. That one will be yours, and I'm gonna pay you good, and you're gonna run the crew. I had it made. Oh, I had it made. I was like, yes. Family member comes home from jail. I'm doing good. He stays around the corner from me. Man, you want something to eat? You come over here and get a plate. You know what I mean? Come check me out. Come hang out. Come hang out with your little cousins. I'm doing good right now, big cousin. You know, this is what it is. I'm doing good. He gets in some bullshit. And he tells the police he lived with me. He don't live with me. I'm on parole. I'm on fourth waiver. I had a gun in this house. No bullets. I just had a gun in this house. My parole was to my aunt's house. This is where my kids stayed at. I come over here, take them to school, spend time with my family. I'm thinking, I'm like, you know, this is one of my big cousins that used to protect me. It's one of my big cousins I looked up to, idolized. He was one of them guys. I was like, yeah, you doing bad? You come get something to eat. You hungry? You need to jump in the shower, lay your head. You pull up on me. I got you, big cousin. Yeah. They gave me a year violation. The company didn't wait for me. I got out. It was all bad. It was all bad. My kid's mother couldn't keep the job. She didn't have nobody watching the kids like that. So when we would rotate shifts, as far as being with our kids while the other one was at work, that wasn't happening now.
Mm-hmm.
So now she don't have a job when I come home. Water costs. Electricity costs. Clean clothes costs. Food costs. Everything is a cost. What you gonna do, Cleo? Your family needs you. Okay, jobs, filling out applications, everything. My brother, Jermaine Ransom, his family, Crystal Ransom, Peter Ransom, they basically adopted me. So Michelle, his aunt, the guy she was talking to he was a brick mason, Ken. So I worked with Ken that summer, and it was definitely not interior renovation. Mixing concrete and cement and stucco and all that, that was work. But I worked it, and he ended up getting sued. That didn't pan out. So I go to my aunt. I tell my auntie, I was like, what I'm gonna do, auntie? I said, I'm ready. She was like, well, go get on GR. That'll help you until, you know, these jobs call you back. I'm like, what's GR? She's like, that's general relief. So I go down there, I go get on GR. Swallow my pride, put all that aside, like, I'm gonna do this. You know, Something's going to call me back. Somebody's going to call me back. Something good is going to come from this. I'm gonna work it. It's going to come together. So they gave me EBT. They gave me a $200 check. I'm like, okay. So where we're living at, we're not in the condo no more. Where we're living in East San Diego on 44th between University and Polk. And this was a very, very, very active area with drugs. I'm seeing everything that's going on. I'm not messing around, but I see it. I see the money. I'm like, man.
Tempting.
Yeah, but I'm just seeing it. I get up middle of the night making bottles. I'm seeing apartments next door. My kids outside playing, take them to the park. I'm seeing it. I'm just like, it's a lot of money around here. One of these jobs is going to call me back. Just be patient. That's what I'm telling myself. Be patient, Sting. Be patient. Be patient. Be patient. So I get the check and I'm like, I was out of patience. Mm-hmm. So I called a buddy of mine like, hey, where I live at, it's a lot of activity over here. I need to pull up on you. I need to talk to you. Come by. And from there, I started selling drugs. So, ended up getting caught. And the thing is, it's like, that one, like, that did something to me. Because when they raided my house, I went to jail. Mother of my kids went to jail. My kids went to the Polinsky Center, basically the foster care system. That hurt. Seeing my kids crying, being taken away, I felt like the worst human on planet. Man, that shit ate me up. Even now when I think about it, it's like, whew, man. So, yeah.
Hey fam, it's me, Alexis. Quick pause to shout out something that's not just a sponsor. It's my creation, Soul Sway Practice. This is the evolution of fitness. Think of it like microdosing your own neurochemicals, dopamine, serotonin, all the good stuff, no substances required. Soul Sway takes what's dulled and deadened and brings it back to life. It's multi-dimensional self-care, movement, mindfulness, meditation that lets you actually hear yourself again because our lives are loud, compartmentalized, draining. This is your time to come back online, set to curated and kick-ass soundtracks and cinematic backdrops that help remove the outside noise to tune into what matters most, you. This is your time, your practice, your life. Let's make it yours. With subscription-based classes, on demand, or courses, design your practice to not only fit, but enhance your life. Go to soulswaypractice.com and use code LAMN50 for 50% off your first month or year. You're welcome.
So it was a lot of that. It was a lot of that. So let me see what happened after that.
So at this point, it sounds like since you've been about 10 years old, you have been in and out of state-run facilities, whether
Yes.
that is a boys' home, whether that is a jail, basically in and out of the system is what they would say.
Yes.
And ultimately, what I'm hearing you say about that is it's not because you didn't know right from wrong. It's not because you weren't inherently a good person. It was because you felt that based on your circumstances and the resources that were lacking in availability to you, that you felt like you had no other choice. And that started at an age where you really don't have a lot of choice, right? When you're that young, and I talk about this all the time, that when we are young and we don't have the resources and we don't have the experience and we don't have the patience and we don't have all of those things, right? We're not the deciders.
Yeah.
And when you're not the decider, when you aren't empowered and able to make big decisions, like this isn't the best environment for me to be raised in.
Right.
Or, we don't have enough money to get my basic needs met or whatever. It's not like you get to say, well, then screw it. I'm just going to pick myself up and, I'm moving out like at 8 years old. That's not an option, right? And as a kid, you don't even necessarily understand the consequences of I want to go steal a VCR. all I want to do is watch Ninja Turtles. We don't really have a concept at that age of the depth of the consequences of something like that. We're just acting out of desperation to get our needs met. But we don't have the autonomy to make decisions. And you've already been cultivated into an understanding of we don't get to have what we want.
Right.
We don't even get to have what we need. So we've got to make that happen. And it doesn't leave us a lot of choice how we get to make that happen. We have to make it happen however it's possible for us. Right or wrong is sort of besides the point at that juncture.
Another thing of that too is just like feeling like your time is limited, feeling like your time is limited based on the other circumstances of life, not just, having the basic needs at home, but while I'm out here hustling, something could happen to me. While I'm out here, hanging in the streets with my homies and the gangs and this and that, something could happen to me. So patience and tolerance and trust in the process, that doesn't really factor into it, because why trust the process when you might not be here? It's like, I need to get this now. If I don't get this now, ain't no telling what's going to happen. So it's almost like a sense of urgency. You feel like I need to do this now for my kids. I need to do this now for me. I need to do this now so I can live now. Mm-hmm. I've been dying. So now I want to live. And I think a lot of my peers got heavy into drugs and alcohol. That's how they lived. That's how they lived. To escape. Mm-hmm. That was their escape. That was their coping mechanism.
Yes.
So, and, some of them did die. A lot of them died. A lot of them didn't make it. A lot of them, didn't make it with their mind intact. And that's where I think I'm blessed at. My mind state.
Mm-hmm. Is this so this last time that you were raided and you went to prison and you saw your kids go into the system and their mother go into the system, and you said that this hit different this time. Was that the last time that you were incarcerated? No. So tell me what happened with this.
So I came home from that. And like I said, I was like, that's when I was tiptoeing, okay, get this, trying to build up. I had tried to do interior renovation on my own. I was going around the apartments under construction, like, hey, I do interior renovation. Here goes my business card, me and my brother Jermaine. So we did that. I had at this time I had 3 jobs. I've always had some type of job. So a friend of mine, Bonnie Snyder, she worked for a company, Sanctuate, and it was a smart chair. Karima, she had this smart chair business, and they needed help moving the chair around from different locations and everything. So I did that. I worked for Starving Students, which was a moving company. Like I was like, okay, I'm just gonna fill up my schedule with jobs. I'm finna work. And the more you get, or the more you achieve, the more you work for, it seems like the more is going out now. Now I got money. When I was poor, I didn't have, my only problem was to get money. Now that I'm getting money, it's like, okay, I got this bill, that bill, this going on, tires for this, tires for that, or, you know, clothes for this event. So now the money's going out. Now I'm not satisfied with my leftover. And it was like, okay. My brother had told me, I drive trucks now. So my brother had told me, my brother Chris, he was driving trucks. He was like, bro, man, come drive these trucks with me. I'm like, you know, I just came home. Like I got kids, all my kids are still in school right now. I'm like, I got to do this. You know, I can't just go and be out on the road. I'm here for right now. I got to do this. You know what I mean? So that's what I was doing. Like I'm jobbing it, this job. Okay, how many hours over here? How many hours over there? Okay, now what I'm gonna do? So it just seems like now at this point, now I'm just fucking up now, because now I'm chasing the hustle now. Now my thing is like, you know what? I'm gonna hustle up. I'm gonna get a house, because I got a good system going on. Now I think I'm slicker than the system. Now I think I could beat them. Mm-hmm. I didn't bump my head so many times. I made all the mistakes that I could possibly make. Now I know what not to do.
Right.
I'm good.
Yep.
Nope. Not at all. So at this time, marijuana's big right now. The good stuff, the dispensary type stuff. Mm-hmm. So there's a market for good weed, but not necessarily dispensary weed. Mm-hmm. And a family member of mine, that was his avenue. So that was the carrot. Mm. And I bit, and it bit me back. This time it was federal. Mm. So I'm sitting in federal court. The connect, the plug, the one who's supplying all this, he told on me.
There is like a theme of you being ratted out here.
I just didn't understand how a person that's high as he was, considered in the hierarchy of selling drugs, could tell on somebody, the low person on the totem pole.
Yeah.
So yeah, they gave me 20 years.
Whoa.
2014. Judge, I went to trial because it was they sentenced me for 2 tons of marijuana. It was supposed to be 1 ton of marijuana. So the law is written out funny. So 1 ton of marijuana is less than 1,000 kilos. It's mm-hmm. like 900 and something. So they charged me with 1,000 kilos or more. Well, the confidential human source, the guy that's telling on me, says, yeah, I set it up for 1 ton. Well, there's a technicality here. How are you sentencing me for more than 1 ton when the guy who set everything up told you it was 1 ton? So I wasn't contesting the guilt. I was contesting the amount. Didn't go my way. And gave me 240 months. So this time I fought. I was in the law library. I was studying law, and that was hard. That was hard because I didn't know. And you got a lot of people in there, not a lot, not enough, but you got people in there that are fighting their case, people that got life. I felt like I had life. I'm like, I got to do 17 and a half years? Hell no. I'm going to do every day of this, I'm fighting. So fighting my case, appeal after appeal after appeal, and I'm denied. So I filed for a compassionate release, basically saying they had came out with a law where the 20 years had went to 15 years but it wasn't retroactive, meaning it doesn't go all the way back. It starts from the day the law passed.
Mm-hmm.
Well, these are extraordinary and compelling circumstances for me, because this is 5 years off of my time. This is everything I've been doing to rehabilitate myself. And I done did HVAC, I done took computer, I done took culinary, I done took landscaping. On top of just other people that know things, like financial people, like, you know, the Ponzi scheme people in there. They could teach you about investing in stocks, and real estate brokers that ended up, you know, cashing a bad check or wire fraud or in there. It's a lot of intelligent people in the federal prison system. So I talked with them. I was like, and the question they always asked was like, what do you want to know? I want to know everything you did up until the point it became illegal. What did you do? Because I could tell by the pictures and everything you were saying, like, you had a great life. What made you want to send this other check that you knew was all bad? What made you want to do that? Just got caught up living, man. It was too easy. Okay, well, tell me what you did up until the point it became illegal. Because I don't want to do none of that, but I want to know the steps to go about doing this. So I just learned, fought my case and learned, fought my case and learned. In 2022, I got granted my appeal. So 20 went to 12 and a half, and I was due for immediate release. At the time, I'm at Butner in North Carolina. It's a medical facility. I had a non-Hodgkin lymphoma. So
wow.
It was three things during the course of me being locked up that affected me in a way that just like really affected me. Seeing my kids being taken away, fighting my case in the law library, and being on that cancer floor. Being on that cancer floor was horrible because it was so much misery. Like, it was so much misery. It's like, me and you talking, next week, I'm dead. And like, we were cool. I mean, I seem vibrant like I am, but I'm fighting this rare cancer or whatever, and I got 15 more years. And next week, I'm dead. And you'd be like, man, where's Cleo at? Oh, he died last night. What? And that was happening like twice a week. So it was like, and I had a very mild case of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Like, if you had to choose a cancer, it would probably be this. They did a biopsy, and I didn't even need radiation treatment. I didn't even need the biopsy. But they was like, you know, we don't know what you take it out then. So that was another time where I sat back and I came up with a system of why. And well, I had came up with it before then, but being in that misery every day, like, it was tangible. It was in the air. Like, you could feel it.
I had cancer. I went through radiation and chemotherapy and had to have my entire like uterus and ovaries removed. So I have been in those rooms. I have had those conversations. I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's heavy.
It is. It's really, really heavy. But tell me about this. What do you mean the system of why?
So if I'm mad, I ask myself, why are you mad? Because you could lie to everybody else. You can't lie to yourself. Why are you mad? Well, I'm mad because of this. Why did that make you mad? Well, it made me mad because of this. What about you and how you're processing this and how you're taking that is making you mad? So then I would just ask myself, why, till I ran out of answers. And things would become clear to me, like, okay, this is why I'm mad. I'm mad because I really don't like the circumstances and I put myself here.
That's a system of self-accountability, right?
Yes.
You not letting yourself off the hook.
Yes.
And going, a layer deeper and a layer deeper and a layer deeper, because there is rightfully every reason in the world that you could point your finger and go, it's my mom's fault. It's my uncle's fault. It's my cousin's fault. It's the police's fault. It's the judge's fault. It's my lawyer's fault. There's so many ways that you could point blame, right? But at the end of the day, when you're the one alone in a cell going, I'm the one doing the time, where is that level of accountability?
Yeah, why am I doing this time?
Where is that level of accountability? Yes. And, and to find yourself in the same situation over and over and over again, when each time you had, like in whatever way, shape, or form, learned a lesson from it to quote unquote know better, to do it differently the next time. But then, it amounts in ultimately you arriving at a point where you've now been granted early release. You have your health. You've beat a cancer. Mm-hmm. You've had all these run-ins with the law.
Lessons. I've had all these lessons.
Yes. You've gotten out of being in
hard lessons.
A gang. I mean, you were in, which gang were you in?
West Coast Crip.
West Coast Crip. So, I mean, which a lot of people say you can't even really, tell me if I'm wrong here, because I'm not sure, wrong. But like you can't get out of it once you're in.
You're wrong.
Okay.
It's not like that. I mean, people understand like you grow up. You grow up. And a lot of people don't understand when you're young, you don't want to get out of it. That's the misconception. Mm-hmm. You don't want to get out of it.
Yeah.
This is your family. Mm-hmm. This is your family. This is your supportive group.
Yeah. I heard it in the poem. I explained perfectly well.
This is your family. This is you. You don't want to run from this. You're running from something else.
You're getting
home.
a lot of gain and support from them that you're not getting elsewhere. Absolutely.
And a lot of times it's like for me, coming up, being a kid in the 80s and being a teenager in the 90s, it was like the streets were more safe than home.
Yeah.
I was safe with my gang.
Yeah.
So it was like that was my family.
Yeah.
I'm with my other family. Mm-hmm. So
you get out after this compassionate release.
Yes.
And then what? Because now we're almost up to the present moment. What happens then?
We're pretty much there. So before then, COVID hit. Mm-hmm. So I was incarcerated during that, and I was at Lompoc. Everybody caught COVID. Staff brung it in, and it just spread. So we all had COVID. They kind of like abandoned us. It was a big thing, like a real big thing. So you had COVID. You had presidents, and then you had a recession. Mm-hmm. So all these classes that I was taking, it was either culinary or it was going to be trucking. Mm-hmm. Culinary, I wanted to do that. I got a buddy named Dave. He has a restaurant. He was like, buddy, yo, get your culinary class, get that degree. Man, you could be like a regional manager for me. You know what I mean? That'll work good. I'm like, okay, cool. And my brother was doing trucking. Restaurants got shut down. A lot of restaurants went belly up. So I researched trucking. Everything about it. It's COVID-proof, it's president-proof, and it's recession-proof, and it's felony-friendly. So
checks all the boxes.
I came home. I went to United Trucking, got my CDL through them, got me a job, leveled up, got with another company, leveled up, got with another company, and now I'm here. And it wasn't just easy like that, because after that 9 years, like I started with absolutely nothing. I'm talking about socks, boxers, t-shirts. Like I didn't have nothing but what I came home from prison with.
Mm-hmm.
So I started from the ground up, and it's like, life is beautiful. When I'm out there on that road, life is beautiful. And a lot of people ask me, like, do I like it? What do I like about it? I just tell them all these wide open spaces and there's no fences.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. You are no stranger to struggle.
No.
To suffering.
No.
To feeling helpless, hopeless, trapped, stuck, desperate. I mean, I could throw so many adjectives in there, right?
Right.
That people can relate to on one level or another.
Yeah.
And I sit with you here now and I experience someone, and again, this is just my experience, doesn't mean I'm right, but I experience somebody who seems to be on the other side to one extent or another. Like you've hit the peak of the mountain, the struggle to climb the mountain, to get out of the suffering, to get out of the stuck, to get out of the desperate, to all of that.
Yes.
To a place where, dare I say, you have a sense of self-worth, of satisfaction, of potential, of fulfillment, seeing possibility in your life, like having gratitude. A, would you agree with that?
100%.
Okay. So B, what would you say to somebody who is going, well, shit, if he can do it, I can do it, but I just don't know how. What would you say to somebody that is like, I can't see the forest through the trees. I don't think I'll ever hit the peak of that mountain. The suffering is too great. The struggle is too great. The challenge is too big. You know, I don't have what it takes, or I won't have the resources to make that possible for myself. What would you say to somebody who's feeling that way?
Understand their T. And what I mean by that is, T is the things that you control. It's the only things you control. Your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions. It all starts with your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions follow that. When you're not in control of your thoughts and your emotions, you're not in control of your actions. Start there.
Mm-hmm.
You need a starting place. Always have a place to start. After that, know what your objective is. You need to know where you're going. You know where to start. You know where you want to go. Research.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever it is you want to do, research it. Learn about it, because that's going to help you be successful in it.
And what would you say to somebody that maybe in a similar situation of the low road and the high road? I feel like that's the best way I can explain it right now. But, you know, there's acts of inspiration, there's acts of desperation, right? Like at any point in time, you could have said, you know, I'm going to pursue the hard way versus the easy way. But the easy way is more of a guarantee of, you know, all the things that I need. Whereas the hard way, I don't know that I'm going to get my needs met. But I also know that it is the right way versus the wrong way. I mean, you know, if you believe in right and wrong and good and bad and all of those, the high road and the low road, like somebody that is feeling like I'm not at choice. Like for a long time, you probably felt like you weren't at choice around a lot of things. What would you say to somebody that feels like, well, I don't have the choice. I have to choose the low road because I have to get the low hanging fruit. I can't pursue the high road.
I would tell them like this. Understand what the consequences are. And ask yourself, can I deal with them consequences?
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of times that don't factor in. It's just you're in the moment. And a lot of people might not be in a position to isolate themselves. Sometimes you just need to isolate yourself and get away from the bullshit. You need to get away from the noise. And that's hard. That's hard because there's no sign in the hood that says out. This is the exit. Take this exit. And sometimes that's all you know. And a lot of times it's like, because of whatever belief or the people that raise us or the people that surround us, we feel like this is it. It doesn't get no better than this. I need to survive here. So on the low road, you just gotta survive. That's the thing. Like when you're on that low road, you could know all the answers. You could know what to do. But if you can't get off of that road, you're on autopilot. And it's just about surviving. It's just about surviving. And when I took NA class, they tell you to get through the minute, get through the hour, get through the day, get through the week, get through the month. And you really sometimes got to break it down to, let me just get through the next 5 minutes. Let me just get through the next couple of hours. Okay, cool. Let me get through this day. And sometimes that's what it is, because there's no one answer for when a person is on that low road.
Yeah.
Some people don't feel comfortable talking and expressing themselves because of pride or because of a sense of like somebody's gonna lose respect for you. Like people that are respected, that's what I've seen, people that are respected. When they're going through it, when they're on that low road, it's hard to know, because a lot of other people are holding them to a certain criteria. So it's hard to be vulnerable when you're on that low road and to say, hey, I'm fucked up right now. I need help. So a lot of times when you're on that low road, if you can't say, I need help, you get through the minute, you get through the hour, you get through the day, and get through the week. Because that's what it is. That's what it is. You're just getting through. I would say, think about it when you had cancer and you was in the thick of the shit. You couldn't think about next week. It was like, I need to just get through this right now. This doctor's telling me this shit, and I need to just get through this little conversation we're having. And then after that, it's like, shit, I need to get through the next couple of hours. Now I need to get through this day. Okay, treatment starts next week. Okay, I got to get through that.
Yep.
And then I need to get through everything that comes after that, like how my body, what I'm going through, what I'm feeling. And it's like, shit. And then it's like, at times it's like, how can I be vulnerable in this state? Like, how can I be vulnerable and still
Fight.
And not only that, it's like, feel loved, feel respected, feel like I'm cherished, feel like I'm somebody, and not feel like I'm a burden. That was the thing with me. I don't, even till this day, I don't want to be a burden on nobody. That's the thing when it's say, I need help. That's the hard part, when you feel that way and you grow up that way, when you grow up and you're raising your parents.
That's right.
You know
I was
what
going to say, it all goes back to your childhood, right?
So when it's hard to be like, man, I need help.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like, I get quiet, you know?
And you did. You needed help, and your mom wasn't able to give it to you. So what were you supposed to do, kind of situation? And it then just continues to perpetuate itself, right? I don't want to be a burden. I don't want to be a burden. It just exacerbates all of these problems. And I think what you're saying is really important. And just to kind of like pull it out and highlight it is, I'm hearing about being present, right? Yes. It is in this exact moment, what is true and what do I need and what is the best way for me to go about that without punishing myself for it, judging myself for it, whether that is asking for help, you know, whether that is just breaking down and letting my ego crumble, whatever it may be, just in this exact moment, who am I? What is the truth about me? And what I always want to highlight for people is in that moment of presence, so often we can't see past our struggle.
Yeah.
We can't see our inherent value and worth because we're trying to measure all of the ways that we don't have it,
Right.
that we haven't gotten it met. And so that must mean that I'm not worth it. That must mean that I can't have it. And the truth is, no matter who you are, no matter what your circumstances are, we all have an immeasurable worth, an immeasurable value. There is no measurement for your worth, your value, how lovable you are, what is possible for you. But we internalize from the external world that there is a limit for each of us. Mm-hmm. And it sounds like a lot to say for somebody who grew up the way that you grew up, right?
Yeah.
And yet here you are. And yet here you are. And you're just, a walking, talking billboard of inspiration.
Thank you.
So here you are in this current situation, which feels incredible, given the story that you just shared.
Freedom is beautiful.
Absolutely. So like now when you look forward on the timeline, what are we gazing at in the future? Like what is on the horizon? Because there is nothing but possibility and potential at this point.
So I put out this book of how to start an LLC. And I wrote it under the pseudonym Alea J. Young. And I did that to where Alea is my granddaughter, is my first granddaughter. My second grandson, I call him Jungle. He's Cedric. And then, my last name, Young. All this time, through all this struggle is just, I wanted my sons to know that I love them. And there's no doubt about that. Yeah. We talk. And all through my times of being away, I've always stayed in touch with them. But we've always talked. We've always, I've always made a way to communicate with them. So moving forward, I'm a damn cool grandpa. So I was just play fighting with my granddaughter last night. And, she's 6. So I just move forward. I'm gonna write some more books. I'm gonna do a book basically about truckers, how to balance, your personal life, your family life, and job, because you do spend a lot of time away from home. So that's coming. Rob, who introduced us basically.
Yeah, who was on the podcast earlier.
Yes. So working with Rob on, some motivational speeches. And this was, this podcast was a true blessing. He was like, man, you need to tell your story. And I know the right person. And that came together. So, books and just living. I'm in the living. Like I'm in the living, and I'm in the making the most of my moments.
Yes.
I talk to all the strangers that speak. I say hi to everybody. I'm in a position, I found something that worked for me. And a lot of times you got to find something that works for you. Trucking works for me. I get my isolation time. I get time to be around, meet new people. I'm free. I'm seeing like how beautiful America is. I'm seeing and meeting people from other places, and I'm loving it.
Yeah, you're really truly broadening all of your horizons.
Yes, and I'm when I say I'm making the most of my moments, I'm making the most of them.
God bless.
Thank you.
Well, I'm going to ask you the question that we ask everybody when we wrap up this podcast, which is if you had a mirror in front of you and you were to silence all of the voices in your life that have injected judgment onto you, expectation onto you, that have an opinion about you, if you were to just silence all of that and have a moment alone with the you, all the yous that you have been to survive everything that you have been through, to become the person that you are in this moment, sitting in this chair, what would you have to say to yourself in recognition and validation, acknowledgement and appreciation of this person?
I would look in the mirror and I would tell myself, you worth it and you deserve it. You're worth it and you deserve it. Keep doing you. Keep smiling. Keep loving. Keep living passionately. Keep doing that because that's what makes you happy.
Bravo.
Yep.
That was well-deserved moment for you.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing it.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Of course.
This is my first time ever being on the podcast too.
Yay! I'm so honored. So tell us, is there a way in which, we can find you? Do you want to share, are you on Instagram? Do you have a website? Do you just want to talk about where we can find your book?
So, the book, the ABCs of starting the LLC in California. It's on Amazon Kindle. It's an ebook. I'm gonna redo it again for a paperback, and I'm gonna do it as a paperback. You could contact me at Cleo Young 220. So that's CleoThaYoung 220 @gmail.com. And I want to be a life coach.
Yes.
I'm good with people. I'm good at listening, and I want to help people. So that's where the road is later on,
The best coaches are the ones who have lived experience of overcoming adversity, and I think you're well qualified.
I would say so.
I think you're well qualified. And there's always room to learn and to grow. There's, a big wide world out there.
Oh yeah.
And everybody needs support. So bravo, kudos. I love that pursuit for you.
Thank you. I want to come back here too later on.
Yeah.
Definitely do a follow-up.
Do a follow-up. I love that. Extreme Makeover, the Cleo edition.
What? Yeah.
I love it. Well, again, thank you so much for being here. Really, I'm humbled and honored that you shared your story with us.
I'm glad I was able to do this on your platform. Thank you.
Yeah.
And thanks to Rob for introducing us.
Absolutely. Shout out to you, Rob. All right, everybody.
Rob.
Yeah, that's another episode of Look at Me Now in the books. And I hope you're walking away as inspired as I am. I love you all, as always, and we'll see you next time. Bye, y'all.
Join us for Look at Me Now wherever you listen to podcasts. And be sure to share, like, and subscribe.